Hey, this is Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to beginning HTML5. We are on tutorial number 17, which is continuing forms. So we're going to jump right back into it. So the last one we went up to checkboxes and radio buttons. Now we're going to go over drop-down list box or a selection box. So it's the same exact thing on top. We have the form, action, and then you have where you want to send it. So let's say my new website, LegitTechAcademy.com/send.php, which is obviously not real, so don't send anything there. Alright, so then we have, then we start and we ask, let's say, what is your favorite programming language? And then we're going to go ahead and close the P. And then we're going to say it's going to be of type select. So we did text area and input previously, but this element is going to be called select. And then we're going to have languages. Selection name, so that's what the selection name type is going to be, and then we're going to have the option. So option is, of course, the option that you're going to have on there. So we're going to have Java, and it's going to say Java, and then we're going to close the option, and then another option, value is equal to C, and then we're going to say C, and then close the option, another option. And we're going to say like C++ or something. And we're going to say, oops. We're going to say C++, close the option. And then we are going to close the select. And we're going to move this over so you could read it correctly. And then we're going to close the form. Now when we click this on live, jump over here, now it has the selection drop-down box, which is exactly what we're looking for. Now this guy, you could also have it, so you could also have selected. The selected attribute means that whatever you have there is what's selected off the bat, and of course you're going to have that after this guy. So I wouldn't use that. Just don't use it, and it'll automatically have the first thing in here. So the first thing in here is Java, so we'll just leave that as selected. It's not really that big of a deal. Okay. So then we have multiple selections. So in this case, you could select multiple things. So it's like one of those boxes that you see where you just highlight something, and you could highlight multiple things. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So what you're going to have is select name here, languages, and then we're going to say a size. So you could have a maximum number of, we're going to say only 2 selections. Except for I need the equals sign. And we need 2 selections. So we're going to give them 2 selections. And then we're going to say multiple is equal to multiple. So there, now we're going to have multiple selections. So here, as you can see, I could only select 2. And then, of course, if you select it to 1, then you can only select 1. So, of course, in that case, you might as well have just a drop-down box. So let's say we wanted another option. We'll just call it like JavaScript or something. And then say JS. Close that option. So now if we select it still at 2, now it'll only let. Okay, so you do have to hold shift in order to do it correctly. You can't just click around, so you have to click. I don't know, it's doing weird stuff. Anyways. Yeah, so this value right here is saying how many options you want to show at one time to where they need to go up and down here. But of course, it's not selecting it. So how I was saying it is not really correct. You could select as many as you want in this case. So yeah, it's not completely perfect, and as you see in here, Dreamweaver fails at doing that. So what is our next one? We have a file input box. So we're going back to the input type here. So let's go ahead and just cut everything here, except for the form. Leave the form open there. Leave the form closed there. And then we're gonna put a method here. The method is going to be post. Post. And then here inside, we're closing the P, and then we have the input type, and then we're going to say file. And then you had, password and things like that. If you remember, password, checkbox, things like that was in there. Input type radio, checkbox, password, and text. So now we have file, and the name is going to be, let's just call it like source code or something. Source code, and then we're going to close it, and then we're going to do a horizontal line break, not a horizontal line break, just a line break, and then we're going to do input type a submit button, and then we're going to say that it says upload inside. And then we're going to go ahead and close it. And then that should be good. There we go. So this goes through the browser, and as you see here, opens it up. Very, very nice. And it's jumping right to the Dreamweaver, right inside the Dreamweaver source. And then you hit the upload button, and then the upload would upload it. But of course, there's no code attaching it to a server, so it doesn't do anything. Yeah, so this would also be, again, it would be, browser dependent, whether you're using Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Internet Explorer, whatever. It's all different. Yeah, so the next type that we're going to do is just a submit button. So in this case, we're going to get rid of the file and just have it only as text. For example, a good case would be someone's entering in subscribing or sending you their email address for updates, etc., etc. So here we're going to have a submit button, and then we're going to say, we're just going to say like sign up. So here, you type in your email address, the LegitTechTutorials@gmail.com, and then you'd hit the sign up button, and it would send it to your server and sign it up. So and of course, don't forget about this part here. That's just the paragraph explaining what's going on in there. And then but in this case, you would want to have a name in here, and we're going to call this sign up. So this is what's going to be the name of this identifier. So this is what you would see when you send it to the server, and the value is what's inside. So that's why you see the sign up part. Okay. I think we're at 10 minutes, so we need to get another 2 done, I believe. Okay. Now we got images, submitting images. So same type of input here, but the type is, you guessed it, image. So we're going to keep the text there so that you could enter in, so the URL is entered in there. The URL to the destination of the image, whether it's on a website, URL on the internet, or on a local reference destination on your file system. So, and then here, in the case of my reference book here, it's saying the source of what the subscribe button is going to look like. but in this case we're just going to have a name and a value. If you want to know what that looks like, let's go ahead and indent this. So you'd say src, and then you would say images. So this is an image. So in this case, we're going to be posting a image onto. So now we're posting an image onto the button. So instead of seeing the sign up button, we're going to have a nice pretty image there instead. But I don't actually have an image made up for that. So you would just have to use your imagination for that. And then of course you could set the width and the height for these. So, you know, that's a little too big. Let's say like a 50 by 50 square. I don't know why it would be square, so that's probably about right. So it would be 100. So that would be inside there. So let's go ahead and copy and paste that in there. So this would be what you'd have on a website if you wanted a custom submit button or whatever. And as you see here, it is not coming up because that actually isn't an image. And it's definitely not pointing at a place that is on my computer. And it's definitely not in that file location. Alright, so now let's say you wanted a button and you wanted to have a image on it. So let's go ahead and go over that. So it's going to be a button type, and then we're going to have the import type. So let's go ahead and change this guy to button. And then we're going to have the image on that button. So we're going to have that image source equals images, and then we're going to have like an add.gif. We're going to say alt. So just in case that image does not display, it will have this alternative. It'll just say add on there. And then we're going to have the width. Again, width is equal to 100 and height is equal to 50. So that way, and then it's going to say add. Then we're going to end that button. And then we're going to have an input type. This is going to be hidden. And then the name is going to be bookmark. And the value is going to be, in this case, for my reference book, it says lyrics. Let me make sure I have everything written down correctly here so we don't have any problems. Should be correct. So here you see that nothing comes up, and here the alternative is add, and outside it says add. In this case, so yeah, and then it says here that the reason why you would use a hidden input type is to have that where if someone clicks on it, it'll tell the system where that user came from, where they hit that certain button at. But this would jump to a certain place if you had it attached to anything, but in this case it doesn't. Also, it would have an image if you had an image actually located at that directory that you see there. And let me see what we got here. Give me 1 second. that is it for this tutorial. So we will go over some practice in the next tutorial, and then we will finish up form controls and move on from there, and continue on our HTML5 learning path. Right, so I'll have a practice for you guys this next tutorial, and then we'll move on. So this has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and if you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series, as well as other series. And if you haven't checked it out already, check out my new Academy website that I'm going to be setting up, called www.legittechacademy.com, and I will be integrating some more stuff in there, so that if you want to further your learning, I would check that out. But I'm not gonna, I would wait until I have a release video on this channel that you could see, and then you'll know that you have access to at least one of those courses. Because right now there's nothing on it. It's brand new. It's only been out. It's only been up for about a day or 2 days. And if you have any questions, email me, and I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned for that when it comes out, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Take it easy, and have a good day.